the director of the Justice Department's Office of Public Affairs and senior advisor to Attorney General Merrick Garland. Anthony, Renato, thank you both very much for coming to the Saturday show. Renato, have prosecutors in the New York criminal trial, have they shown that this case is about election interference and not just Trump covering up an affair?
Well, I think there's no question that that is the theme that they're sounding. Jonathan, they made that front and center in their opening statement. They are trying to make that case throughout this trial. And in fact, that's what they need to show in order to make this a felony charge as opposed to a misdemeanor. So I think we're going to see more evidence along those lines and more argument along those lines in the weeks to come. You know, the bottom line is that they are trying to show a concerted effort to influence the election. And in fact, what we heard from the first witness, David Pecker, is that the former White House press secretary, Sarah Huckabee Sanders, was actually part of that effort while she was in office.
Anthony, David Pecker, the National Enquirer publisher, he was on the stand for 4 days. Did the defense succeed in discrediting any of his story during cross-examination?
Not really, Jonathan. This, at its core, was the prosecution's game. It was their win. They needed to dispel this false notion that this case was all about a minor bookkeeping issue, as Donald Trump says, or on the other hand, that it was about hush money payments, which in and of itself are not illegal.
Right.
This is about a broad criminal conspiracy to keep critical information from the American people. And it started in August of 2015, just weeks after Donald Trump announced that he would run for president. And it started in this meeting at Trump Tower where David Pecker was summoned. He had Michael Cohen in the room. And they, as you noted in your lead-in, he promised Trump there that he would be his eyes and ears. And so throughout this campaign, for any types of allegations of these type of torrid affairs. And so I think what jurors saw this week, which is why it was such a clear win for the prosecution, David Pecker took them inside the room and made all of these things very real. Go ahead.
Renato, someone else who's inside the room, I need you to talk about how Michael Cohen's banker, Gary Farrow, fits into the prosecution's narrative. He takes the stand again on Tuesday.
Yeah, that's right. So first of all, one thing that does matter, although this case isn't entirely about false statements in business records, that is at the core of this. And really, what this witness is going to show us, he's going to help prove that these payments took place. He's going to back up and corroborate the testimony of Michael Cohen. We all know Michael Cohen has got credibility issues given his prior convictions. He's going to corroborate that. And he's going to show what those payments were for. In other words, that those payments weren't payments for legal services, that they were, in fact, hush money payments. And so that leads to the question of why there was this cover-up in the books of records of the Trump organization.
Mm-hmm. Well, one more question for you, Renato, because Judge Juan Merchan has scheduled another hearing for Thursday on Trump's gag order. Why didn't he rule after the first 10 times Trump allegedly violated the gag order? What's taking so long?
Well, you know, there's that image of the sword of Damocles where you have the sword hanging over your head. I really believe that what's going on here is that the judge wants to have this ruling hanging over the head, not so much of Trump, who, let's face it, does whatever he wants to do, but over Trump's lawyers. You know, Trump's lawyers know that at the end of the day, the judge is the one who decides what questions they can ask. Evidence comes in, ultimately may sentence their client. They really don't want to be on the judge's bad side, and he is basically using this as a tool to try to get them to rein in their client as much as possible before he makes the ruling.
Oh, Renato, that's real good. That's real good. I'm sorry. I love it when I hear stuff I've not heard before.
Right.
Anthony, I want to turn to the Trump's immunity claim. Justice Gorsuch said during oral